Hey everyone, welcome back to Fictional. I'm Veronica Belmont, and this is the show where we look at the cool tech and science from your favorite TV shows, movies, video games, and comic books, and ask, is this possible? And if not, why not? Last week we talked to UCSF neuroscientist Dr. Bradley Wojtek about downloading experiences and skills a la The Matrix. And let me tell you, you guys had some things to say about it. Awake31337, ooh, very elite, said someone may have said this, but it can be argued that the Kung Fu was uploaded to be performed from within the Matrix, which only his mind is connected to. That being the case, the rest of your body really wouldn't matter. It would be like playing an RPG and leveling up. The real question is, can our minds exist in a computer-simulated world, and could it be done without us knowing? Then we can ask if skills can be uploaded to the minds that are connected. Well, if you want more information on that, Awake31337, you can go check out the extended interview that we have also posted over at youtube.com/techfeed. Lots of really cool stuff. Brad was just so awesome. He stayed with us for a lot longer and talked more about downloading skills and also a little bit about memories too, which is actually what this episode is about. But first, we also had a comment from Alex V who said, "What the hell? I just saw you at Comic-Con." Yeah, I was there. I have the ability to be in two places at once. We'll cover that on a future episode. But this week we are speaking to our old friend Anthony Carboni of D News about memories, about amnesia, and how amnesia is represented in films like Memento, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and a few others that may surprise you. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So we are here talking about amnesia,
Yeah.
if you remember. And sorry, that was terrible.
Hey-o.
You knew there was going to be some amnesia jokes. What can I say? But
I feel like I knew there were going to be some amnesia jokes at one point in time.
Yeah,
and then
too
I
soon.
forgot.
No, I already made that joke. But anyway, amnesia has kind of been big in the news recently. There's been some news stories about one particular guy who is suddenly speaking Swedish.
Yeah, he's Swedish now. It's cool. It's fine. His name is Michael Boatwright, and he showed up at a Motel 6.
As one does.
As one just woke up in a Motel 6, speaking Swedish.
Is it good Swedish or is it
it's
poor
apparently
Swedish?
bad Swedish,
It's pretty bad
and
Swedish.
we should say, like, they did find out. It's not like he woke up as a different man speaking a different language. They did find out that he had lived a little bit in Sweden.
Okay,
but
so
that's
he
why
had
it's
some
bad
absorption
Swedish.
time.
Yeah, and he actually is on an online LARPing forum. Like, you can get a picture of him like in full-on like knight's garb, and he had a Swedish username.
Does he remember the LARPing, or is that totally wiped from his memory as well?
You know, there's no case of amnesia that's harsh enough to make you forget really good times LARPing.
Yeah. So there are many different kinds of amnesia, and a lot of these different types of amnesia show up in all sorts of different films and TV shows. It's a very popular plot device. It's kind of a trope at this point.
Yeah, and we should say that the trope that's in movies, the amnesia that we think of in movies, is not amnesia. It's a dissociative fugue.
Oh, how is that different?
So amnesia is memories are gone. You either can't form new memories or old memories are gone, right? A dissociative fugue is everything is gone, every bit of who you are is gone. It's like this Michael Boatwright guy.
Yeah.
You're a different person, you know? So
Okay.
you think about Goldie Hawn in Overboard.
And Overboard, great movie. Oh, I
Yeah.
loved her outfits.
Hardcore sci-fi audience out there. Overboard, Goldie Hawn, Kurt
Fantastic.
Russell. So she actually has what would be a dissociative fugue. She falls off the boat, gets into like cold water, right, which can cause one. She comes up and she just doesn't know who she is. She could be anybody, and now she's a nice person.
Wait, so you're saying that the medical reason for her dissociative fugue in Overboard is actually a legit one?
Yes. So dissociative fugues can come from emotional trauma, stress, exposure to extreme heat or cold water, like being submerged in it, sex.
You might want to forget some bad. I'm just saying.
You know?
Yeah, maybe
so,
that's convenient.
oh boy, or it's just a really good way to get out of there. Like if your phone isn't, like if you can't make up a meeting, if your phone's dead and you can't fake a text message, oh God, I dissociative fugue, I don't know who I am.
Totally.
Yeah.
But then in films like Memento, for example, Guy Pearce's character, he still has retained some of his self, but he's got more of a, what is it called?
Anterograde.
Anterograde. So there's retrograde and anterograde.
Yeah, so
amnesia as
retrograde
well.
is everything from, everything before an incident
Is gone. Okay.
Everything after an incident is anterograde. No, but amnesia, more often, it can be caused by head trauma, specifically like things to the the temporal cortex or to the hippocampus, which is the part of your brain that takes in all your sensory information and makes it into a cohesive memory. More often, amnesia is caused by viral infection. But what's great about Memento is his amnesia, his symptoms are very, very true to life.
That's what I've actually read, that it's pretty spot on to what one would expect from that kind of situation.
Yeah, because he is, you watch the other two characters taking advantage of Leonard, they know Leonard's personality, right? If he really woke up and he was disassociative, or he had typical movie amnesia, he would wake up every morning like, oh, I don't know who I am, I don't know where I am, and my personality's gone. There's some core of him that's always in there. His problem is he just cannot form these new memories.
And that's something that happens too occasionally, is that a person wakes up every day and it's basically like hitting a reset button, and they have to relearn all of that stuff from that point on.
And that is the one that is more likely to be due to physical damage to the brain. Okay. So whether you get whacked upside the head from something, whether you have a surgical procedure and they have to remove a bit, you could have a tumor removed, something like that, and it could just touch on those spots. That is the kind of amnesia that you will see. It's also the kind of amnesia that Dory has in Finding Nemo, which is
never seen Finding Nemo.
Dory and Leonard are basically the same character. They have the same symptoms.
Very different consequences.
The stakes are different for both.
Equally high,
equally
just
high.
different.
Yeah.
Just different. So another film that I love is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And in that film, Jim Carrey's character is using pharmaceuticals to erase memories of an ex-girlfriend and all of their shared experiences.
Right, which is, that is lacunar amnesia, which is where you get Lacuna Inc. from the movie. So lacunar amnesia is a specific incident goes away. And that's usually because of some sort of trauma too, like some sort of short-lived trauma or stress. It can be done with drugs in mice to an extent. There is a particular kind of protein, alpha CA MK2, okay? And basically, if you flood a mouse with this protein, there's a study done in 2008, you can remove a specific memory from about a month ago in the mouse's mind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You can also use the same protein to stop someone from forming a memory as it happens, in theory. Right now, someone means a mouse.
So from what we're talking about here, it seems like it's more likely for someone to be faking amnesia in the real world, because there's been only like 12 cases a year that get reported.
If you're thinking about colloquial slang sort of movie amnesia,
that is actually the fugue state.
Which is a fugue state, 12 cases a year. And what's really happening right now with Michael Boatwright is people are coming forward from his personal life, his sister, friends of his, and they were like, dude, he was out of money, he didn't have a job, he was looking to skip town, like he was probably in Palm Springs looking for a job.
Hey, but you said emotional states, high states of stress.
Exactly. This is a pro tip. If you are going to go for the long con, let's say you got to skip town tomorrow. Like, I don't know what kind of trouble you're in, Veronica Belmont, but I'm in and out. If it really gets bad, the best thing to do, fake a fugue, stick with it, because forever and ever. Just become Swedish, because the stuff that causes a fugue is exactly the kind of stuff someone would fake a fugue to get away from.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
And if they're faking the fugue to get away from sex, because sex can cause them, there's some deeper psychological issues probably.
Absolutely. But it seems like the films, at least the ones we've mentioned, like Memento, Eternal Sunshine, Overboard, those are all kind of based on things that are probable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's based in scientific fact.
Scientific fact. I would call it fact. Yes.
Fact. It is factional. Well, it looks like, at least in the context of the films that we discussed today, amnesia is definitely fact. It's just like in the movies, which is kind of freaky, maybe even a little bit weirder in real life based on current events. But I want to know your thoughts on this episode. Leave a comment and let me know, or send me a tweet at Veronica. And make sure you check back every Friday for brand new episodes of Fact or Fictional here on TechFeed. I'll see you next time. Oh! I'm old.
Happy belated birthday to Veronica. Happy belated birthday to
I'm gonna wish for another season of Fact or Fictional. Yay! Thank you. Oh, thanks.
Just for all of our good times.
All the good times. Thank you, guys. Ooh, barbecue sauce.